Hey everyone! In a recent live stream, Danielle shared some deep and personal insights about her time as a trainee. She reflected on the struggles she faced and how they shaped her journey. Let's go over what she revealed. Danielle began the live stream by expressing that she wanted to break free from the walls she built around herself during her trainee days. She described those times as challenging.
You know, there's also always has to be a hard time for some breakthrough to happen. At least that's what I feel and I believe. So
she admitted that as a trainee, she was somewhat unaware of her own emotions.
So back when I was a trainee, I was kind of like ignorant of how I felt in a way. So there were times where like deep down I knew something was wrong, but then like I forced myself to believe that that was normal.
Danielle also recalled how cautious she had to be in following all the rules. Looking back, she now realizes that many of them didn't have much meaning. Some of the strictest rules included having to leave a note every time she needed to use the bathroom, even during her free time, taking pictures of every meal and sending them to her manager for approval before eating. She mentions the feeling like she and the other trainees were constantly being overly watched during training. It's eye-opening to hear Danielle talk about this, especially considering how intense these rules were. It really makes us think about what trainees have to go through before debuting. Danielle explained that the reason they had to follow such strict rules was because they felt like their chances of debuting depended on it. There was always a lingering fear that if they didn't comply, they would be cut from the lineup.
I remember being so cautious not to break all these rules that you had as a trainee. You had to leave like a message before you were able to go to the toilet, and this was even in free time. You were constantly being watched over when you were in the practice room. I remember having to take pictures of what I ate before I was actually able to consume it, and I had to send them pictures to our manager and she would have to check it. The reason that we had to follow all these rules was because otherwise we felt like we weren't going to be able to fulfill it. We weren't going to be able to debut.
Even after debuting, Danielle admitted that she still feels like she hasn't fully broken free from the mindset that was forced onto her during training. While this might not be the case for all the members, it was something she personally struggled with.
And even now, sometimes I think I haven't gotten past that mindset in a way. So, yeah.
Danielle shared that everything changed once she met Min Hee-jin. According to Danielle, MHJ was shocked when she first heard about Danielle's experiences as a trainee.
I remember her being also extremely shocked when she heard about our life as a trainee. I remember thinking, why would they use this kind of system when in fact it deprives us of creativity?
Danielle expressed that she doesn't understand why this system is used, as it deprives trainees of their creativity, but believes that the main reasons for the strict trainee rules could be 1. It was something passed down in the industry, continuing as an outdated practice, and 2. The people in control wanted to make it easier to have power over trainees.
Having all these deep conversations with my mum, was I able to realize the situation and understand that time actually, how much of an effect it had on me, really.
The live stream happened at 4:05 a.m., and Danielle admitted that she never imagined she would be sharing her past so openly with fans.
I didn't think that I was gonna be talking to you guys like this about my past, because it takes a lot of courage for me to, really go into detail about that time. So, yeah.
Danielle shared that after a recent interview with all the members, which will likely be released after ComplexCon, she spoke with her mother and became emotional discussing her past experiences.
After that interview is when I talked to my mum about how I noticed myself becoming very emotional, talking about my past experiences. And it was to the point like where I couldn't properly say what I wanted to say in the first place, and I just ended up just like not being, like, words not coming to mind. And I guess it was because, like, I felt so challenged in a way and strange for me to be sharing my own feelings in such depth. Because those emotions, for me, were like bottled up for a long time. They were just compressed inside of me for a very, very long time. And this interview was in front of cameras too. So I was like, you know, like on the inside, and then trying to be like, keep it calm on the outside. It very much didn't work. Like although I tried very hard, I ended up, you know, like getting all teary and like my throat all getting all tight, but I tried my hardest.
Danielle mentioned that her time as a trainee was when she started to become ignorant of her own emotions. It wasn't necessarily a conscious decision, but rather something that happened as a result of her environment. She constantly restricted herself because she felt that certain behaviors or actions weren't what they would want.
Definitely that time as a trainee that I spent in such a confined environment that I slowly grew ignorant of my emotions. My surroundings and my lifestyle was subconsciously telling me was, no, you can't express yourself. No, this isn't what they want. And if you were to do this, you may not be able to debut. And it felt like my identity was constantly being violated.
She reflected on how difficult those years were. Looking back now, she says that she could never go through it again, knowing how much it affected and changed her.
It just, like, looking back now, I could never go through that again. Because now I know how much that changed me.
Danielle emphasized how Min Hee-jin helped them break through the barriers they had built as trainees and helped bring back their creative side, the part of them that truly wanted to do music and build a real connection with it.
We were very, very lucky. We were so, so lucky because we got to meet Min Hee-jin 대표님, who was there to help us, like, kind of break through that barrier, at least in a very creative way. So she was able to, like, bring back that creative side of us, bring back that side of us that wants to do music, that wants to really, you know, build a relationship with music.
Danielle acknowledged that many trainees start at a very young age these days. While not all trainees may be in the same situation she was, she believes that there are definitely those who are facing similar struggles.
There are trainees nowadays starting at even a younger age, and I feel like I'm definitely not saying that all the trainees would be in this kind of situation. I'm just saying there could be trainees that, like me, are constantly being held in a position where they are non-stop being compared and non-stop being ranked, and that's heartbreaking, and that worries me. And I mean, like, just because those children, like, have... What I want to say is just because those trainees, those children have a dream to one day, like, perform on stage and to be a performer, they shouldn't be treated like dolls. They shouldn't be treated like dolls. That's what I wanted to say, basically. Yeah.
Danielle's experience highlights how strict rules and pressure to debut can suppress personal identity and creativity. The fact that she still carries some of those scars shows how deeply this system affects young artists. By speaking out, she's shedding light on an issue that is often overlooked, raising important questions about how the industry treats young aspiring idols. She provided an honest perspective on the reality behind the K-pop industry, questioning a system that often treats young talents more like products than artists. More importantly, she expressed concern for current trainees who might be going through the same struggles. This isn't just a significant moment for her. It's a conversation that could spark real change in the industry.